iPhone 11 Pro Max versus iPad Pro 2020 speed test. Let's go. So what is up, guys? Nick here. The iPhone 11 Pro Max comes with an hexa-core A13 Bionic chip. Yes, that's a pretty powerful CPU with 4 gigs of RAM. Now, the iPad Pro 11 2020 comes with an A12Z chip. That's an octa-core CPU with octa-core GPU as well. So this is a very beast performer as well. Let's see which one can turn on faster. Okay, so let's see which one can actually turn on first. 3, 2, 1. And we'll see which one can get to the home screen first. Now, both of these you do have to hold down for like 5 seconds before they do show the Apple logo. But my guess is going to be the iPad Pro 11. We'll see which one can do this faster though. And really, the iPad Pro 11 is just like having an iPhone, seriously, just a bigger version. So if you wanted to just not have an iPhone and just an iPad, this would be fine for you, the iPad Pro. You see, the iPad Pro beats the iPhone 11 Pro Max on 13.4 to boot up. Okay, so quickly confirming the software, the iPhone 11 Pro Max is running the latest 13.4, and over here for the iPad OS, it's 13.4 as well. Look how similar that gesture is. It's like using the same type of device right here on both of them, which is why I said you could get an iPad and not have an iPhone if that's the only device you wanted. Okay, so we've arrived at the app portion of this video. You can see everything closed out for the iPad Pro, everything closed out for the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and we'll begin with calendar. And you could see pretty similar opening times. Everything is going to open pretty similar on both devices, and the gestures are identical. So that's why I say if you're using both an iPhone and iPad, it's like, especially if you're using like a newer iPhone and iPad Pro, it's like using the same device just on a bigger screen, which is a very nice consistent experience. Now, if we go over here in the Instagram, you could see very similar performance on both. So we're not going to do too many of these standard apps for this video. You can see there goes Twitter right there. And we'll go to my profile page. And there was actually a bug in iOS 13.4 I pointed out, but you could see scrolling very similar. Let's go into YouTube. We'll go to the Explore tab. You could see very similar performance. We'll go to Music. And you can see iPad a little faster there with a lot more content displayed, but similar performance. Go to PUBG Mobile and see which one could get there faster. Now, I expect the iPad to load this up a little bit faster, but maybe the iPhone will be quicker. But we'll see which one does better in benchmarks as well. And so pretty similar so far. It says I was killed in the last match. Yeah, so turning on PUBG, not a big deal of difference, but what's a big deal of difference is when you start to match up. So when you do get in the match, you have so much space to see the world around you on this iPad Pro 11. So definitely a big update in screen size for sure. You can see definite. So yeah, overall, great performance on both. You could easily get by without having an iPad and just having an 11 Pro Max, or you could easily get by without having 11 Pro Max and just having an iPad. They're kind of interchangeable here. And you could say, well, no, I don't have phone calls. Well, you still have FaceTime and iMessage. So let's head into Mortal Kombat and see which one can do this faster. And you could see, looks like this is pretty close. Looks like the iPhone is a little bit ahead over the iPad Pro with the A12Z in this game. You can see iPhone looks like it's a little ahead. So this is great. If you're using both these devices, it's like you're using the same device, one bigger, one smaller. It could be a great companion device to your iPhone 11 Pro Max. You can see 11 Pro Max slightly ahead on that one. Still both very good. Now, we're going to go ahead and do some benchmark tests after we run through these apps to see if we get any pauses on them, which I don't think we will for these devices. And let's go into YouTube. You could see, let's go into Twitter. You could see, let's go into Instagram. You could see just fine. Let's go into Clock, just fine, and Calendar, just fine. So pretty similar there. Let's go ahead now and run a Geekbench, and I will speed up the actual test. Looks like iPhone had that first open. I will speed up the actual test, but we'll see which one can actually finish this benchmark first. 3, 2, 1. And so as you've seen in the video, the iPad Pro actually beat the iPhone when it comes to finishing this test, and it has a higher multi-score, but the iPhone has a higher single core. So again, I mean, these are pretty close in performance. I think the iPad's a little bit more powerful overall because the multi-core score is a bit higher. The single core is higher in the iPhone, but when it comes to, multitasking, getting things done, this is where the iPad will shine. So for what you're going to use the iPad for, it's more powerful than this iPhone 11 Pro Max, but what you're going to use the iPhone for, which is just single tasks, it's more powerful than the iPad. So let's head into an Antutu benchmark now, and we'll run this test. We'll see which one can finish this one first as well. Looks like there was an ad on this guy. Let's go ahead and hit start testing, 3, 2, 1, and we'll see which one can get this done first. Okay, so when it comes to who finished first, it was probably 11 Pro Max very slightly, but you can see we have a higher score here for the iPad Pro 11. Now, earlier on in the graphic test, the iPad was actually ahead, but when it came to the less graphical stuff, the iPhone 11 Pro started to catch up again. So, I mean, these are pretty much neck and neck, which is really showing how much power you actually do have in your iPhone 11 Pro Max. Okay, so let's go ahead and head into Safari here and see which one can open a couple websites faster. So let's go to target.com, 3, 2, 1. You see that's the iPad, and of course you're gonna get a lot more content on the iPad screen. Both very smooth, but with the 120 Hertz, the iPad is an even smoother device with its ProMotion display than the iPhone 11 Pro Max. And so let's go to bestbuy.com on both, 3, 2, 1. And looks like the iPad Pro is a little faster as well, so I do like the performance on browsing and smoother. It's just funner to browse on any iPad really, but this one is even better because it's got that ProMotion, it's got basically an all-screen design. There are thinner bezels on the iPhone 11 Pro Max, but it's a little bit choppier in the scrolling. So overall, I would say that the iPad is by far the better web browsing device. And lastly, let's go ahead and take a look at the iMovie results here. So let's go to this export on both. We'll do this in 4K. We'll hit save video in 4K. Let's hit 4K and see which one could do this quicker. Now, I'm gonna guess the iPhone 11 Pro Max will do this faster because it has the faster CPU performance, but maybe the iPad Pro with its better multi-core score from Geekbench can show why it's maybe the more powerful device for exporting and things like this. So we'll see. Now, I know a lot more people would definitely prefer iPad for doing iMovie rendering and LumaFusion, stuff like that. However, it's nice and powerful that you have this on your iPhone as well. So which one is gonna take the win? Looks like the iPad Pro is ahead. Man, this is a seriously powerful device, even though it's not the A13. So the iPad Pro, significantly faster than the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Well, I wouldn't say significantly, but it was enough that if we started doing even longer clips, it would be even quicker. So that's it. Between the iPhone 11 Pro Max and iPad Pro 11 2020, I think it's pretty clear that the iPad Pro is the more powerful performer. It has 8-core graphics. It sent the video through iMovie quicker than the iPhone 11 Pro Max, even with the higher A13 number in the chipset. Also, the games were relatively quick as well on here. Smoother display, faster internet browsing, more cores for GPU. I think the iPad Pro is a little bit more powerful than the iPhone 11 Pro Max, even if the A13 is a technically, quicker CPU. It shows it in the single core. Both of them are pretty comparable though. So if you want to get both of these devices, they can be great companions to each other. And if you don't want an iPhone, you just want to use an iPad, this could definitely replace the iPhone if you get like an LTE model and you just don't need a phone for some reason. Same goes for the iPhone. If you don't need an iPad, you probably can get by with just the iPhone 11 Pro Max. It's got iPad Pro like performance, as well as, you know, as good as some MacBooks performance. It's just on a different type of operating system, and operating system is everything. Let me know your thoughts. Do you like these kind of comparisons where we do phone versus tablet? Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. I will catch you all in the next episode. Be sure to be well. Nick here, and peace.